Hi, everyone.
Hello.
I moved to be here with you today, as over the past 3 years, I'm proud and honored to have witnessed my peers' growth. We followed each other's journeys as filmmakers, trying out new roles, learning, succeeding, but sometimes not, but always learning. When Tyla first arrived to uni, he wanted to become a director, and he did when he directed in year 2. Then he went on to produce my graduation film, The Pigeon of Waterloo. That's one beautiful aspect in our industry. We're able to change our minds, to try new roles, to create new stories. We're encouraged to do so. As creatives, we're constantly subjected to feedback, especially by our peers. As difficult as it can be to always challenge each other, I believe that it is one of the most important steps in creating something powerful. And it also shows true collaboration, a pillar in our industry. In being in this class, I found a support system and people who could challenge one another to do better, to see how far they could go. It is tough, but I've realized over those 3 years that beautiful things don't come easy. We, as a class, have had to overcome obstacles, and we did. We made 10 films, and we should be proud. Something else I've understood is how much strength there is in being vulnerable, as contradicting as that might sound. When making art, we often find ourselves tapping into topics, emotions, memories that make us uncomfortable. And through this process, we grow and are able to make more powerful stories. And whether our vulnerability is reflected on screen or not, the work we've done in ourselves, the journey we've been on, does transpire through the final piece of work. That's how we're able to connect with our audience. That's why we're able to connect as individuals in this world that moves a little too fast. We connect through shared emotions, shared experiences, even if we don't know the person behind the film or the one on screen. Genuine stories allow us to connect. Through my journey at UAL, I've seen many students and tutors being vulnerable, and I salute them. I've learned so much from them. Among ourselves, we've created a safe space where we challenge what makes us uncomfortable to continue making work that matters. Be vulnerable. That's an important lesson I'm leaving with today. Another tool to add to my toolbox, as one of our tutors would say.
I suppose it isn't easy as some may think to be in the creative industries. You sometimes feel like you're in the middle of the world without a sense of direction, both personally and professionally. It doesn't help that there's so many voices, but you'll eventually find your own voice to say what you wish to say in such a crowded industry. Margaux's stories are very authentic and are written straight from the heart. They reflect the lives of people who are on different journeys so well. So when Margaux talks about using vulnerability as your strength, she really means it. I've certainly felt very vulnerable at some points during this year, but it is a part of our growth. Margaux today is a screenwriter, a director, and anything that she wants to be, but I'm still waiting for the day that she'll tell herself she's not a fraud. Perhaps somewhere within all of us, we feel the same way, but the only people who can convince ourselves otherwise is yourself. For artists, self-doubt often comes in the form of telling yourself that you're not good enough, or that you'll never be as good as the artists you look up to. But we don't need to be as good as them. We just have to be better than we were yesterday. We've all been faced with the struggles of undertaking practical courses during the pandemic. And for many of us, it means we've lost out on valuable time and lessons that could have helped us feel more prepared to go into the industry. But from what I've seen, we've tried our best under the circumstances and proved to ourselves that you can still be creative with limitations. And interestingly, Orson Welles puts this into perspective and stated that the enemy of art is the absence of limitations. So perhaps the pandemic challenged our adaptability and prompted our creativity. And we all have creativity within us to tap into and create projects we're going to remember. Whether that be the end result or at least the experience, we mustn't forget that we'll be learning for the rest of our lives. And for the past few years, I've been learning alongside people who I'll remember for a very long time.
Being creative can be difficult, lonely, stressful, but it's also magical. Our work is to tell stories, to inform people, to make them escape, dream, wonder. 10 years ago, I never thought I'd be able to tell the stories I made up in my room as a child. A year ago, I never thought I'd be given the chance to tell the story of a man who wears a pigeon mask. As strange as my idea sounded, a few people, including Tyla, who was the first, my crew, cast, and tutors believed it should be told. Art, filmmaking isn't useless. Since the beginning of time, we've been telling stories. That's how we connect as people on this earth. And if the last few years, months, weeks, have taught us something, is that we need to connect more than ever. As we graduate today, I know we're just at the beginning of our journey. In 3 years, Tyla, you've become more confident in your ability to do, well, pretty much anything you set your mind to. You've nurtured your voice, you confront what makes you uncomfortable, you're becoming yourself. I know lots of us have been on similar journeys, but not one is the same. Regardless, we all leave here today with friendships, collaborators, beautiful projects, and skills. We should be proud, and as scary as it is, excited for the future.
And while going into the industry may not be easy, just remember that it's okay if at first you don't succeed. We have to enjoy life and be more confident in our abilities to create work that reflect ourselves and our capabilities. And I feel my time here at university has shown me how important art subjects are for creatives as well. And we should preserve all art courses as much as we can to make sure that we're able to express ourselves and find our place in this big, beautiful world.
I'd like to thank you all, everyone that has believed in me and my ideas, that's given me feedback, those who have just been there. Thank you to all of you. You've taught me so much. Thank you to the tutors. Thank you to my parents who believed in me when I said I wanted to go into the creative industry, who trusted me when I moved across the ocean to pursue my dreams. In many of you, I found people who want to tell stories that matter, that understand that little gestures, little moments of nothingness are what make life worth living. Thank you for helping me tell these stories.
And lastly, I'd like to say thank you as well. Thank you to all the people, and you probably know who you are, who have helped me personally grow during these past few years. And thank you to my parents for teaching me that no matter where you come from, you can be whoever and whatever you want to be if your heart's in it. Thank you.
Thank you.